You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hello, everyone. We're back in action. I'm your host, Mackenzie Fain. With me tonight, I have Mama Lee in the building. So we have 2 reunions to cover. It was crazy. It really was. Like, there was a lot going on. What did you think of these? Just an overall,
Good. I thought it was revealing some things, I learned some good things, but not a bunch.
Some good things, not a bunch.
Some good. My vocabulary is this big right
Regardless of that.
Yeah.
No, so we're doing Teen Mom 2 Season 9 reunion parts 2 and 3 tonight. They really did cover a lot in these 2. I was glad to have skipped last week and bunched these together, but there is a lot of information. So, like I always say, I love the reunions so much better. I feel like you can read them so much better than you could in any other situation, like them just on the show. So, we'll start with Jenelle's whole thing, okay? So, Nessa confronted her in part 1 about this whole confrontation thing, or they had this confrontation about that Jenelle had tweeted things about her boyfriend and said bad things about her family. I don't even want to get into exactly what it was, but it was bad, and her feelings were hurt. That's all we need to say. Because truthfully, I really don't know.
Well, I guess she had said something about Trump, the employment rate has gone down, but yet her husband had gotten a job or something, found employment. But I thought it was something of also Jenelle had mentioned that he had, bent a knee at the national anthem.
Yeah, that's why I was like, there's so much weird information that I don't have the full story, so I don't even want to touch upon it. Yeah. But regardless, it really doesn't matter in our grand scheme of things with this.
Right. But I mean, the fact that Jenelle said, well, that's what David was saying.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. So, well, let's get into it. So, Janelle's clearly embarrassed by the whole thing. Sure. She ran off crying. That's where we left it in part 1. So, we get back to part 2, and exactly what you're saying. We have Dr. Drew talking to Jenelle in the background, and then her manager comes over. So, do you want to explain that part?
Yeah, I guess that he just was talking to her about what she had said. They brought that up on the screen, and Jenelle was like, well, I don't really even know him, I don't write the things on there, but all I know is that wasn't he the one that bent a knee? And he said, yeah, but do you understand what it's all about? And then I guess they discussed that a little bit,
yeah, and that's when she did say,
yeah, I don't know. I don't know him. I don't know anything about him. That's what David said.
I don't know why they didn't press that issue more. I think Dr. Drew said, well, something he said,
it's your account, he said.
He said something like, okay, but you're not David, or something like that. But I don't know why they wouldn't say, this is literally what everybody's talking about. Mm-hmm. That you're brainwashed by David. Why, do you not see the problem with that? You're having confrontation with Nessa, the host of Teen Mom 2's Aftershow, because of your husband, because you're randomly tweeting it. I don't want to understand that.
Because they were probably in the living room, and he's like, oh, look at this guy, blah, 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 and he did this, and he bent the knee, oh, good for him, whatever. And she just wanted to get in on that conversation and say something that was...
Or maybe he told her to.
Yeah, he could have, yeah.
But, I mean, she's clearly embarrassed. I mean, but she goes back out onto the couch, and she, I've never seen her this vulnerable and, actually hurt. So I'm glad that she had to deal with this, because she's always put on this, facade that she's this, you know what, whatever, I don't care. I never saw it affect her. I'm so glad that I saw this affect her. So she said she doesn't post these tweets. Somebody else did. Then Nessa's like, and then she tells Nessa, you should have waited till the end. I don't know why I came out here and attacked you. And Nessa was just like, wouldn't that have been fake of me to have a full conversation with you and then with all of this hurt?
Right, exactly.
And I will give Nessa props because she handled herself so well. She had everything to say. She had all the facts to back it up. And she stayed so calm. Like, there were so many times where I was like, girl, like, I would have been...
It's been, I think, with her for a while.
Yeah.
So she had a long time, to get it under control and probably upset about it. Plus, it's her job. She has to.
That's true. But, I mean, I get the job part, but, like, confrontation, that's a totally different thing to me because even I get really, like, sweaty when I have to confront somebody, like, even if it's a small thing sometimes. I don't show that.
Right.
But I don't think it comes off as smooth as hers.
Yeah, and also I could tell that Nessa felt on the first show, like, she also doesn't want to ruin the show. Like, if this girl that people want to hear from, that's it, up and leaves because she had to bring up a personal, problem with her, and Jenelle leaves and people don't see her, that could have an impact on that show. And at the end of the first, what do you call it? Reunion. Nessa was like, I had to bring it up. I couldn't sit here. Everybody understood.
Although
but that had to weigh on her a little bit.
Although I will say, I do think this is so relevant. This is not some random, like, beef between these two. Like, this is exactly what everybody's talking about.
Right.
Janelle, you are so far gone in this relationship with other people. Like, what do you and Nessa have to fight about?
Right.
Nothing. David.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, so anyway, they kind of just smooth that over. And, like, you could just, like, at one point, Nessa was like, see, like, we got past this. Do you think you and the other girls can get past this? And she was like, like, she wasn't, like, it was almost, like, kind of attitude-y, but kind of sad, but kind of, like, embarrassed, but kind of, it was just, like,
she was really quiet.
Yep. So then we find out, so Barbara comes out, Babs comes out, and they ask about the whole FaceTime thing with Brittany, and Barbara says she thought that she was on FaceTime. Which makes a lot more sense to me.
It really does.
It makes a lot more sense because, it's like, I don't want this to come out wrong, but, like, say you're, like, I don't have a kid, but, like, say you're with your kid and you're, like, they're doing something frustrating. And you're like, oh my God, I'm going to kill you. And then somebody overhears.
Right.
And then it's like, I don't know. It's like you do that at home. It's different. Like, not that you should do that, but, like, oh my God, I'm going to kill you right now. Like, what the heck? Like.
And exactly. And if you're on FaceTime versus Instagram Live, it's a whole different, ball game. If you're saying, oh, I'm going to kill this kid right now.
Yes.
Instagram, all these people that don't know versus one person that knows you and knows you absolutely don't mean that.
Yes.
And it's silly,
So now I almost get why Babs is so, like, almost nonchalant about it because she's, like, probably like, oh, like, I really didn't know. Like, no?
You can't take that from her anyway. She still said,
yes.
She didn't say, oh, I want to kill her or whatever.
She said, let's get lit and kill her.
Right, and kill Kail.
Kill Kail.
And like, she goes, I'm not here with a knife going, stop. Just stop.
That's like anybody that's like any threat that's ever been. It's not like it was literally doing it. So when you catch me doing it, that's when you can say something.
Silly. No, but she is funny.
Yeah, I don't know. But, and then, we talk about Amber's brought up and Jenelle says, Amber, said that I need to get out of this abusive relationship. And Kail was saying that she thinks that David needs a psych evaluation. And then Jenelle gets super emotional. And I'm like, just think for a second. They're all saying the same thing to you. And it's not even about you.
Right. But, it was really hard because there was a point, and I always kind of feel like I go for the underdog when they're down. But there was a point when she was on the couch and she was saying...
I know exactly what you're going to say.
You do? You always say that. You probably don't. when she was saying, you know, I didn't get to be shown with the kids, you know, the kids and at home, and he's a good father and
changing diapers and
right. Well, I mean, she truly believes or feels these things about him, and we only know the angry him. You know, and he's ridiculous. He is ridiculous. I'm not saying that, but there probably is a different dynamic between them, or they get it, or because she's a little psycho too. So maybe it works and maybe it's not abuse. I don't know. Because why is she staying?
I know.
Makes zero sense. She has money. Her kids are gone. You can't be that in love with anybody, can you? That your kids are taken away?
So, okay, in all seriousness, I don't know what her stance is on the kids thing. This is way before the kids thing.
I
Not
know.
way before, but, yeah, because I don't think the nugget thing is brought up in this. So, yeah, it is. No, I totally get what you're saying. The kids thing, that's where I'm really thrown off. How can you stay?
Right.
When they're taking your kids away for the reason that you're with him.
Just leave and you'll get your kids back. All right, I know nothing because this wasn't happening, right?
It wasn't happening, but everybody that is watching, I'm sure you guys know.
No, they know, I know, but her reaction on the couch isn't reflecting how she's feeling right now.
No.
And again, we don't know what's going on.
No.
Because even Dr. Drew said, you know, why aren't you mad at him?
Yes.
You know, and she said, of course. So we don't know every deep thing. And had the cameras gone in there, we could have seen a lot more of what happened.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, so that was one thing I wrote down. Like, Dr. Drew was like, why are you not mad at David for burning all of these bridges for you? And she's like, I am mad at him, but I love him. And exactly what you were saying, but I don't know. I don't know what level, like, because she's probably stuck in this, like, place of, I married this guy. For better or for worse.
No
like,
way.
You don't think?
Her?
What?
You think she has those vows in her head that it's like, that's it, I married a guy and I'm going to stay with him? She had babies from 2 other people.
Maybe at this point. Like,
No.
Oh, okay.
No, she's either brainwashed or
Get brainwashed to think that. Like, think, like, I'm married to this guy. I have to stick it out with him. I don't know.
there's something. So something in that relationship, she loves him because she blurted out, he's a good father. I love him. You know what I mean? I feel like you don't just throw that out there if he's not a good father. Do people say that their husbands or fathers of their kids are good fathers if they're not?
Yeah.
I don't feel like you do.
don't-
But what your expectation of a good father varies.
Okay.
So her opinion or her, expectation of a good father.
Well, that's so true because I'm just thinking, like, think of all the things that those kids have seen and witnessed and heard.
Exactly.
Not a good father.
Right.
But he's there. He does, like, take them quadding. He does swim with them. He does change their diapers and he does feed them and he cooks dinner. I've seen on Snap, cooks dinner for the family. And so.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's a tough one.
So Jenelle laughs when they show her lighting Kale's hair products on fire. I'm just like, dude, you're not even the slightest bit embarrassed about that.
Yeah, but there was a conversation which also made a lot more sense with Jenelle, was that she said, all right, so Kale, sent me this hair product and then afterwards was on some kind of thing and was talking about me, talking about I should leave my husband or just trash talking me, but yet you send me this thing. No, I would have she said I would have accepted it, but if she sent it and not trash talked me too.
Yeah.
Who wants it?
No, and that's
afterwards?
fine.
I mean,
I get that, but do you really need to like that's where you become trashy. That's it.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's why the level of a husband and what he is as a father and a husband is lower than, what somebody that isn't like her would expect from a husband. Like, not Like the things you said, killing the dog, screaming or yelling or threatening or cold.
Literally threatening the police that he will shoot them.
Right.
Like if he comes and they're coming on his
pushing
property.
you in a fire is probably not a good husband.
Yeah.
Oh.
And think about it. How many abusive people out there are so kept quiet for so long, and he seems to have a lot leaking out.
Yeah, but
So how much are we not seeing that he's doing?
I agree. And I just keep going back to the point where I say, would these women say on, when they had the chance, he's a great father. I really wish people could see. Like, would they say that? Would they just, I don't know.
So what are you implying? That he is?
That he's, in her eyes, a really good father.
Oh, okay. So you think she's very brainwashed?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Well, definitely.
Well, yeah. Yeah, it's... yeah. So she said, no, I take my... Oh, okay. So somebody asked about the hair product thing and, like, something about it. Oh, why did you...
Burn it.
Why'd you burn it? And they said, like, how did you feel that it helped Kale? And she said, no, I don't really care. Like, I actually... And then randomly, like, out of... All you could have said, like, I do care, or you don't care, whatever. But she goes... Well, I take my time coming out with my own products. I take about a year to come out with my own kits. So, I was like, okay, first of all, you have kits. I would love to see the kits. Second of all, love how you're putting a year, it's just so funny.
Yeah, I know. It was really random.
I was like, I literally rewinded because I was laughing. I spit out. Something else, I spit out my water. Oh, we'll get to it. I actually spit out my water watching this and listening to this over and over and over. Please stay tuned because I will talk about it soon. So one thing I didn't realize was that Nathan lives in Florida.
Yeah, I didn't either.
And they live in North Carolina, as we know. Mm-hmm. So this whole, him needing custody, I mean, it would be a lot, how do you move away from your child?
Exactly. He said he was willing to move back. So
okay, but why did you move in the first place? Nobody would do that.
Right.
Nobody would do that. That's just and I will give Nathan some props because this reunion he was fine.
Absolutely.
I didn't have any problems with him, and he made himself look good, and he was fine.
And he does see the kid every weekend. So I don't know how the distance between them. So he's getting there. If he's taking a plane or driving or whatever.
I just think it's so ridiculous that he can't even call her. She won't pick up the phone. He doesn't know what's going on with his son when she has him. That's so messed up. Right. And I do like when he says, I would never, want to take my kid, Kaiser from Jenelle. I would want him in his life, her in his life. But.
Well, I like how he used 100%. I'd like her 100% in his life. Well, wait a minute. No, you don't.
You want him 100% of the time. You just, what is...
Yeah, you wanted to have 20% or whatever, what you're having. Anyway, I thought that was funny.
Yeah, that was funny. So, you know what else was funny? Jace's dad walking out in a big, fat, hairy coat.
Gosh. I can't with him. He was terrible. The lies. I was like... What is going on? So Jace's dad, Andrew, comes out in this big furry winter coat, keeps it on. Yeah, it was like what do you call those? A parka or something?
Yeah, something. Mm-hmm. But Babs didn't know he was coming, and she was like, Jace is upstairs. She got frightened. Yeah. She was shook. And yeah. But so Andrew's talking, his legs crossed, I was like, what? I'm fine with people crossing their legs. I cross my legs. I'm not even saying guys are fine crossing. Right. The way he was sitting just irked me for some reason. His legs and the way he was talking and his arm. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Was he on drugs?
I thought he was, but then he said 100%.
Yeah, but then look how Babs was like, wow. He just took one and passed it right in front of her. What is he gonna do? Sit there and be like, yeah, I'm clean, but if I took a drug test right now, I'd fail? What is he gonna say? What he's gonna do is
Not
if
throw out the drug test.
Well, if they actually went through with it, which is, he knows in his mind it's slim that they're gonna make him go through that, so he's gonna say it. And then if they do, he'd be like, "Oh, that's weird. Yeah. Somebody must have, that's what they do." But so anyway, then what was this conversation? How did it even start? So he said, "What do you do? What have you been doing the past 8 years?" He was like, "All right, so I was doing some modeling, and when my contract came up, I moved out to Los Angeles. I moved out to Los Angeles. And I got my bachelor's degree in something. I don't even know what it was. And, I feed the homeless. I feed the homeless all the time." He's like, "Oh, where do you do the hospitals? Just random hospitals around." "No, you don't." He's like, "No, you don't. That's
HIPAA.
Yeah, that's violation. You can't do that." He's like, "What?"
No, he goes, I do here.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Wait, you said Los Angeles?" "Yeah, in Los Angeles. If I'm just walking around and I see a guy, he's hungry, I give him food.
I just walk around with food."
So funny. He's so
I wish Dr. Drew was like, "But I'm confused where the hospital came in then."
Yeah.
Where?
They're in front of the hospital. I don't
You
even know.
Said you went to the hospital, but now you're walking around the streets.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just actually confused.
Oh, yeah. He was horrible.
It was bad.
And then Nathan had to give him the whole, he's like, "I can't see my kid. They don't let me." And Nathan's like, "Well, then go through the courts.
Yeah.
Go. I would. That's what I'm doing. I have to do."
Yeah.
It's so, I can't even stand it when guys say, "The mom's not letting me see the kid." What are you talking about? Get your rights. You have rights. Get them. If you don't fight for them, then that's on you.
Yeah.
Nobody else. Every woman wants to know that their kid is going to be fought for. I don't want my kid in anybody's life, my baby, going with anybody that's not going to fight for them if they need to.
Yeah, because think of that, they're not going to be safe then, because you're not going to care about them enough to actually see them. You're not going to care about them enough to make sure they're not eating wires in the corner while you're watching TV, or I don't know, whatever the hell.
Yeah, whatever babies do.
Whatever babies do in the corners when you let them be in a corner by themselves. Hey, what are you doing over there? So Nathan goes, I was just really confused about this sentence because he goes, can I just point out the fact that all the guys in Janelle's life, have an addiction problem? Why are we not looking at her? I'm like,
wait.
He's like, Andrew, Kifa, me, David,
yeah.
It is.
Well, what it has to do with her is that she's picking the wrong man, and you're part of it, mister. So thanks for bringing it up.
Yeah. I did see, clearly there's stuff wrong with her too, but, I just thought that was so funny that he said that.
I know. Oh.
What?
What, you going to talk about?
No. What?
Oh, never mind.
I was going to move on to the next girl.
Okay, good. Is that where Jenelle? It might be the third one. When Barb gets on the couch and they're talking.
Just say it.
Oh, I don't know where. I forget who it was talking about. Do you feel like Kaiser is safe over there? They were talking to Nathan about it, and Bob goes, "I think he's all right.
Oh yes,
I think he's doing okay. He's a tough kid." She wasn't very convincing. It wasn't what is. He's a tough kid. What? He could take his father take David if he comes after him with a gun. What?
Yeah.
How tough can you be?
She just doesn't want to say because Jenelle and her are on good terms.
I understand, but you could read between the lines.
Oh yeah, I definitely there was. If it wasn't that, then there was something else that I wrote down that I was like, that is not convincing. I hope that it comes up because if not, then it would have been that. But yeah, I was like, yeah. No, I think it's something else. Okay. I know what it is. Okay. So it's in this one actually. So we're gonna move on to Kale unless you have anything else to say about Janelle. Okay, so we're gonna move on to Kale. So we start out with Kale and Javi together on the couch. Mm-hmm. Kale pretty much just she dogged on Javi this entire thing.
She did.
And just let a lot of cats out of the bags. Out of all the bags. Every bag.
All the bags. All the cats.
All these cats, all these bags. So she's just like, Javi gets women pregnant so that he can stay with them. Or so they can and she even calls her miscarried baby a Band-Aid baby. Which, I don't know. That was just her so sad to me.
Well, it's the truth. She knew it. A Band-Aid baby just... It's what they were having it for.
That's so sad.
I know.
But, okay, so they ask about Lauren's relationship to him. This is what it was. He did not sound convincing to me at all. He was like, yeah, we're good. We have a lot going on. We have the gym. We just had the baby. We have Isaac. We have this. We have that. We're dealing with her, with Kale. Like, it wasn't like we're doing so good. Like, having Eli has just brought, like, there was no like light.
Right. Yeah, and that's why I keep going back to Jenelle. Like, her first response was anyway, and his wasn't. He was, it's tough. It's natural response. It's hard.
Or
okay,
play devil's advocate really quickly.
Okay.
I think Jenelle has been pretty groomed at this point on what to say and what not to say and what's going to get her
in
trouble and what's not, and everything's positive. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So that could be too. So
True.
just to keep, an open mind. But yeah, so the Lauren thing, and I started to not. Lauren just rubs me the wrong way a little bit after this, just because she made it seem this whole time, anytime we'd see her, that their life was perfect, and her and Javi have this great relationship, and I mean.
Yeah, but how did you get out of just that it's not, Dr. Drew asked you love her now. I guess I didn't love her before or something, but.
Well, he said.
Yeah. But, I mean, it's probably a big stress. Like he's saying, that's a lot to have to go on in a relationship.
Well, I mean, he was literally having a 3-way relationship, and she was one of the girls. How can that be so spectacular? And I love you, and I want to have a baby with you, and went out right. And now you have a house, now you have a baby, now you have a business together, now you're co-parenting together.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
I don't think it's.
And yeah, well, and then Kale kind of freaks out about being the kids being called step parents or step siblings. She was just not thrilled about that, which I totally get it, because Dr. Drew kept saying it, and she was like, hold on a second, they're not step siblings, they're brothers, that's it. They're brothers, and Vivi is the sister to Isaac, and that's it. And I totally get that. I know where she's coming from, but how annoying was Dr. Drew, to be completely honest? He slowly responded and didn't understand. He was like, so do you and your sister not have half of DNA?
Yeah.
She was like, no, we do, but we're sisters.
Right. He should have said, well, I love that outlook on it.
Yeah.
I love it. You're right. You're sisters, no matter what. People are adopted and are sisters. And you don't call them your adopted,
no, you don't. No, you don't. You don't go, this is my adopted sister.
Exactly.
This is my sister. Right. That's it. What?
Yeah.
You get adopted. No. If you get adopted by parents, this is my adoptive mother. Say hi, sign the papers for me to go to a field trip.
Yeah,
no.
Exactly. Okay. And there's no DNA there. So,
no,
all
yeah.
right, Dr. Phil.
Dr. Phil. Boo-hoo to you.
Wait, is it Dr. Phil?
Dr. Phil. Yeah, I say Dr. Phil. Dr. Phil. Get out of this show, Dr. Phil. So V and Kale had a really rough start. Did you see that whole montage of hatred? Bad.
Yes.
But they're great now. Obviously, they have such a good relationship. We've seen it throughout this season, how V is just so, protective of their relationship and really wants Kale and Joe to come together, and just this nice little bubble.
Yeah, and they're obviously really friends. I mean,
Yes.
I cried.
Me too.
And yeah, it was so cute that they were so genuine. And then Kail saying, well, first V saying my parents came up to me saying that she cried. Kail.
Yeah. So, well, what I didn't know was that she was in Isaac's life since he was 2 years old.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
So that, I mean, she was like, we grew up together. Like, we raised him together. Like, you know, like,
right.
So, and I didn't realize it had gone so fast, but, yeah, like, say what you were saying.
V's parents came up to V and said, Kail's been crying the whole time. The whole time. They must have been like, the happy tears, they said. So she just said, I couldn't have asked for a better stepmother for my child. And that still chokes me up because that's so amazing.
Yeah.
It is to be able to trust, you know, this person that has no DNA. Take care of your child and trust them with everything like that. It was wonderful. And I cried over it.
Yeah. No, I definitely like teared up too. And it was nice seeing how far they've come from all these reunions and talking about the custody and the 50-50 and, you know, all this. It just really was so nice. But yeah, Kail said that she couldn't think of anybody better to be a step-parent.
And she's adorable, V. And,
She really is so cute. You know her daughter's name is Vivi?
Yeah.
She's V and she's Vivi. The next one's going to be Vivi.
V. It's going to be the boy.
Vroom! Here comes Vroom and Vivi. Oh, God, we're bad.
Right.
Okay.
We only think we're funny.
We're not funny.
At all.
At all.
If you think we are, you're wrong.
Okay. So Kail, we have Leah comes out at one point, so we kind of jump around, but I want to stick on Kail because we're here. So she's never been on a date before.
That's crazy.
Well, she has 3 baby daddies.
Right.
Like, how do you...
No self-esteem, no standards, nothing. How do you not go on a date?
Never been on a formal date.
Oh, sad.
And she's like, it was the weirdest thing. She was like, some lady asked, what do you think about, or what do you need in a guy or how do you know if a guy is a good parent, would be a good parent to your kid or something like that? And Leah was like, stability, like have a house, have a car, have a good job. And Kail was like, well, I don't really care about the job. Like, I don't mind being the breadwinner. Like, I don't care if they have a job. They could be a stay-at-home dad. I'm like,
oh, her standards are so low.
I get what she's saying about, like, I don't mind being the breadwinner and being, like, I know many people in that situation, and that's fine. But you're not meeting a person in that situation. Right. Like, you
need to meet somebody that you know is capable of providing for themselves. Not in the mother's basement with no job.
Yeah.
That made no sense.
No sense.
Okay, if you're making more money in the relationship and your husband or your boyfriend, whatever you want to call your baby father, dada.
Baby dada, father, mama. No, one other thing we found out about Javi is that Kail really thinks that he only got with her to get on the show, like, because she was famous and, you know, had some fame or whatever. Yeah. Because he was going to go on True Life with the girl that he was dating, or like getting back with your ex or something, and she didn't want him. So then
it was convenient.
Yeah, which is, I could see it.
Yeah,
I could definitely see it. So we move on to Briana. Why do I have nothing on Leah?
Because it really wasn't anything.
Nothing.
She was on the couch for a second with Kail.
I mean, we had that little tiny tidbit with Jeremy in the part 1, and they talked to Addie on the FaceTime for a minute. But like, I really wish they could have gotten what's his face in there. Jason. I mean, no, but
yeah.
Anyway, so we move on to Briana. This is where I spat my water out.
Okay.
The pronunciation of Devoyne.
Oh my God. What is that?
Devoyne.
And that's what he wants everybody to call him. Devoyne.
Because, okay, Briana was like, Briana, like, they were like, which one is it? She's like, I don't even know. Like, ask my mom. Like, that is such a tough, like, tomato, like, Florida. I don't know. Like, there's many things that people say differently. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, but usually you know if you're a Briana or a, what's the other
Briana.
one? Briana. Absolutely. Because I had 2 girls I knew. I knew.
Because the mom, I think Roxanne calls her Briana, I think.
Right.
Briana.
If your name's Briana and not Briana, then you know.
Apparently she doesn't. I don't know.
It's Briana. That's why.
Well, anyway, Nessa literally goes, so do you want us to call you Devoyne or Devon? How do you pronounce it? He's like, it's Devoyne. Mm-hmm. I was shocked. I was like,
yeah.
I don't know if it's because we've been calling him Devon for 10 years.
Yeah.
Not 8 years, whatever it is.
Why didn't he change it the first show?
How about your baby mama calls you Devon?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's real. I think his whole family calls him Devon. I don't really know that.
But then, oh my God. And then the whole time, like, they kept referring to him as Devoyne. I'm like, who is Devoyne loin? Sirloin, chopped sirloin. What is happening? I don't mean to make fun of his name, and I don't know if it's really the name or just the fact that I'm really shook about the fact that I didn't know that this is his name. Devoyne.
Devoyne.
Are you guys, is anybody else out there, like, listening or watching, like, shook at the fact that his name is Devoyne?
And we didn't know it for this long?
I can't. What I didn't know about Devoyne...
You're gonna do it. I'm staying with Devon.
I didn't know about Devoyne was that I'm gonna try it out.
Maybe you'll get used to it.
No, I feel like obligated or something at this point because like Dr. Drew and Nessa kept doing it. Like at one point they're like, let Devoyne talk.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. So tell me,
Devoyne. How do they not slip up in like sirloin? I'm really like, what if Devoyne was like, I'm really hungry? Like
Devoyne, would you like
really
sirloin?
use a sirloin, Devoyne?
This makes me hungry.
I don't know why every time I talk to you, Devoyne, I get really hungry.
I no longer want to be a vegan after I talked.
I need to exit.
Oh,
I need to exit the show. Okay, let's keep it rolling. Oh my God.
Right.
Okay. Okay. Woo. Okay. So I had no idea that he had I can't look at you, so.
All right.
So I didn't know he had a drug problem and an alcohol problem. I swear I've been watching this since 16 and Pregnant, and I didn't really know like what the issues were with him. Really didn't know why I didn't have his license. I really didn't know why, like I didn't know all these things. So he has had a drug and alcohol problem. So he says he had 2 drinks and he didn't eat all day. So
And he's thin.
And he's really thin. He like pulls up his shirt halfway or something, points to his and said I drank more than I should have. But so what do you think about that whole situation?
I just think it was horrible. Just like it was supposed to come across, I guess. You know? I just think that he, it was a foolish thing for him to do, and Briana, definitely has a right to be angry at him and has the right to be upset. It's just really unfortunate that he went and did that. And
What would you do in this situation?
Probably the same thing that she did. Be pissed.
Yeah.
Pissed. I mean, now he's just going to have to start from square one again.
Yep.
You know, like the trust has to be gained back. It's just...
How absurd was it? Like they're talking about this, and then Dr. Drew goes, "So do you want to meet John? He's here." And he's like, "No." He's like, "I don't want to meet John. I can't even talk to my kid."
Exactly.
Like, and he didn't say it in a bad way. He's like, nothing against the dude, but like, there's no need for it. He's like, I pretty much like, I'm in the doghouse. Leave me alone. Like, I get it, you know.
Yeah.
One thing. I mean, yeah. So he's out there and Brianna's just like, I need more from you. I need more from you. And he's like, well, where was all this a couple weeks ago before this happened? She's like, I would have said the same thing.
Yeah.
I would have said the same thing if, you know. So I get it. I think he just needs to step up. Hopefully this is a big thing for him. But I don't really know. So then we have Roxanne and Brittany come out. Dr. Drew confronts her about how she freaked out last reunion and pulled Kale's hair, and they had that whole big, huge fight on stage. And he was like, did you know, like, there was a pregnant woman on stage. Chelsea, I think, right? Yeah. On stage when you freaked out, and she was just like, I don't know, I don't talk to them. Like, I told my sister I was sorry that it happened, but...
I kind of disagree on how she came across.
Oh. You think she was fine?
Well, I think, you know, she handled, I mean, first of all, she was really real in the beginning, talking about being on camera and how she looked good. So right there, it was a good thing for me. I automatically liked her when she was saying, when she was on Instagram, I looked good and I wanted to be. So, in my opinion. So I liked her there. They did talk about it, and she was like, you know, yeah, of course, I feel bad for it. She said, yeah, it's terrible. I would never do it again. I'm, you know, looking at it back and stuff, but it is my younger sister. And that kind of is such an automatic thing. You see somebody going after your sister.
Yeah, no, that's true.
It's so automatic. You don't even think. It's just... So, I mean, she said, I don't watch the show. You know, I don't talk to them, but yeah, you know, I said to Briana, I'm sorry that happened.
I just think, like, an actual apology to, like, the pregnant lady on stage that you put her, like, that's not cool at all. No. But I get what you're saying, but I don't know. She does nothing for me, but I've never.
Yeah.
Even that whole, like, thing, I was like, come on, we get it. Like.
Oh, I thought she was funny. But, yeah, I don't have all the big past.
Yeah, there's not really much.
Yeah.
I don't know. But Devoyne says that he was wrong about everything. And he was like, you know, because Dr. Drew tried to get him to, like, debate it in a way, in a sense. And he's like, you know, there's really nothing else for me to say. Like, I'm wrong. Everything that they're saying is right. Like, I totally get what they're saying. And
yeah, exactly.
You know, it's not a problem. And Briana chimed in and she was just like, yeah, I don't really believe that. Like,
yeah, good for her.
Yeah. But yeah, so that was that on her piece. Anything else?
No, nothing that struck me, you know.
In the Devoyne.
The Devoyne part, yeah, that was really bad.
Well, I meant, like, nothing struck you in your Devoyne. Don't you have, like, a loin? Don't we all have a loin?
I don't know.
Some kind of loin.
Silly.
Okay, so we're going to move on to Chelsea. So, not too much of a shocker to all of us, but cry. Cole cried the entire day Lane was born.
So cute.
He's so cute. So, they were like, so I heard Cole cried through the whole birth, and she goes, no. He cried from the second we went to from the second the day started to the minute it ended. Like, he cried all day. Oh, and like she even said, like, I'd randomly look at him and he'd be like, yep, I'm crying again.
So cute.
Then Dr. Drew, so like there was random things that made me just be like, Dr. Drew, where's the doctor coming from, buddy? Because it was a little unnecessary. Like the stepsister thing, you know, I get that he said it and that's fine. Some people don't understand, but at the same time, don't be like, so like you're not that dumb that you don't understand like the deep down whatever that she's feeling. Like none of her kids actually are like full siblings. It doesn't matter, but that's, you know. Anyway, she goes, so is Cole getting any better at babysitting? Chelsea was like, he doesn't babysit. Dads don't babysit.
Yeah.
I was like,
babysit, but everybody says that.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I remember years ago, like when having you kids, you know, people would say, you know, got the baby mostly, but who's gonna babysit for you when you go? Oh, Mike will. But I remember catching myself too, like, no, he doesn't
Yeah.
babysit, or I am every single day.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is something.
I'm a
that's out
full-time
there.
babysitter. Yeah, I guess so. Chelsea said she wants 1 or 2 more kids.
Oh.
If she can even handle it. She's so cute, though. She's so pretty.
Oh, she really is.
Like, actually, I wouldn't even call her pretty. I literally think she's so gorgeous. Like, her face, her nose. I don't know. She's so pretty. So she wants to move because of the robbery. She does want to. She's like, I'd be, like, totally down to do that. There isn't much she can do about this whole thing. It's just like a helpless feeling, she was saying. And she just gave birth, so there's a lot of like postpartum stuff too they kind of spoke about. But I mean, she just had a lot going on at the time, and for that to happen, and it's such a significant thing. It's like, a lot. With Adam's family, she reacted because they were taking advantage of her. She felt like, so because they asked why all of a sudden did you kind of stand up for yourself. She's like, I think they kind of caught me on a bad day. But Adam is still going to lunch visits, and she doesn't really know what to do. And I thought she was so real because a lot of the time he would ask things or something, and she'd be like, I don't know. And like, what would you do if you were in her situation with all things?
So what I didn't understand is how Cole can't just become, like, adopt her.
I think they're thinking of it in the sense of, like, he literally, Paisley's dad adopted her and got Adam to give up his rights somehow. So it's not like it's coming out of nowhere. This is all starting because Adam gave up his rights.
If he's going to lunch every week, doesn't sound like he wants to give up his rights. Didn't Dr. Drew say something like about the adoption? So is like that gonna happen, or did he? There was somewhere.
I know. I could feel Dr. Drew thought it should happen. I thought he was like pretty much like, you need to make this decision,
right?
But
it's not her decision, unless some kind of a new law came out where you could just adopt anybody else's kid.
No, I think she means like pursuing it. Like Taylor, Paisley's mom, had to have pursued it and got Adam to give up his rights. So it's not like it's some foreign thing that could mysteriously maybe happen. Right. She's saying like it literally just happened to his other kids, so why would he even care about her? He won't even show up to visits. It's causing Aubrey so much anxiety, I feel like. So I think she's like, that's why she wants to do it.
Yeah, well, that's definitely the answer to everything, is for Cole to adopt her. That would be perfect, if it could happen. So I forgot what the question was. What would I do about what?
Like, what would you do in her situation? I think what you're kind of missing with my point is that, like, yes, it can't just happen. They can't just be like, oh, I'm your dad now, sign this paper, like nothing to do with Adam. It's more of like, it just happened with his other kid. So so it's not like Adam was like, absolutely not, I'm fighting for my kids. Like, Adam literally signed over rights to his other kid. So they're like, okay, this is clearly
there's
possible.
Something, there's a word, there's a magic something that could get him to
I don't think they've ever attempted to.
Okay.
Like I don't think it would. This conversation never came up until Paisley was adopted by her stepdad.
Yeah, I don't know. I would really like that to happen if it was me and I was going through it.
Would you like fight to have that happen and override like Aubrey's feelings?
Oh no,
because Aubrey, remember when she had the conversation?
I know, because it's not supposed to be up to Aubrey, but we're talking about a whole different thing. Like, you can't give a 9-year-old the ability to make decisions, but this is a whole different thing. This is her father that she sees once a week at lunch. If she says no, she says no. You can't, I don't know. Wouldn't she resent Cole? Wouldn't she? That could be a big problem.
That was the thing that Chelsea was saying. She doesn't want to push it, like, what's the point, whatever, but it's also causing a lot of issues and it'd be so much easier on everybody if he was just gone. So it's just a big
Yeah, you can't. I mean, unless he does, that's on him. And I wouldn't even brought it up to Aubrey at all. It shouldn't. I mean, how did it even come up?
Why? What would you have done? Nothing.
You can't talk to her about it if you don't even know if it's a possibility. I'm so confused about this because your sister, I had to have, daddy adopt her, but he passed away, her father. So, we thought about it before that, and it was a no-go. And it was an absolute no-go.
Yeah,
and
but
he
did
wasn't
she...
in her life a lot. And would she have cared? Probably not.
Yeah, but
so
she
much.
was so little.
She was 8.
Oh.
She wasn't
When he
so
died?
little. Yeah.
Oh. Well, shows how much I know about my family.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so... Yeah, but did it affect her? I don't even think she remembers it.
No,
She doesn't even remember it.
not so much.
That's crazy. Well, because she never saw him.
She didn't see him very much. No, he wasn't consistent.
So
but
do you think with Aubrey, like, it could just dwindle away on its own? Or, like...
But think about this. Say I did, say Courtney's father was alive, and I did do this whole thing and say you don't have to pay me anything and make this whole stink and then have daddy adopt her later, 13, 4. What do you mean? Did my father, he agreed to that? Why? What did you say? It would come back at you, I feel like.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want any part of that. Just kind of go on with your life, get what you can. If you can privately get him to, and it be all on him, I don't know. I don't know. It's scary.
Yeah, that is.
It's too much to have to.
And, like, what an awkward thing for, like, when Aubrey does see Adam, for that to be in the back of her head. Like, this was literally a conversation and you're my father.
Right.
Like, there are certain things that you don't even remotely even have touch upon with your parents. Like, I can't even think of an example, but, like, you know what I mean? Like, bad things, like, that your parents, I don't know. I don't even know. Well, whatever, anyway. So that's that. Randy has 15 grandkids. I didn't even know that. I don't know where all these kids are coming from.
I know.
Chelsea would like to cut Adam out of everybody's life, which we know. Randy comes out, talks about the jabs on social media to Jenelle. I mean, he's just a guy, like.
What were they? Do we know?
No, I don't really know. I think it was more of like, he was just saying pretty much like when I met her when she was 17 years old or whatever, she was a bright young girl. Like, you could see her going down this path or this path, and she keeps going down this path. She keeps going down this path. And he's like, I think he said along the lines of like all the things that everybody else is saying, and just kind of chimed in. But he said, Cole stepped up pretty good. Like, gave that. So that was nice. Cole comes out for the first time ever. We've never had him come out before. When Chelsea has her anxiety, she can't even speak. She feels like she's having like a seizure or a stroke or something, which is crazy. But Cole leaves notes around the house, and just for her to wake up to, and it's like
happy, inspirational.
You're gonna have a great day. Like, who is this guy? I want to meet his parents, the people that raised this person.
Right.
And like, even though Cole doesn't understand anxiety, he's so supportive. Like, does he do any wrong?
I don't think so.
Like, is he compensating for something else? Like, there has to be something wrong with him.
Okay, and that's okay. I mean,
that's okay.
I don't care.
I know.
Have small muscles. Who cares?
Yeah, he doesn't though. We can see those.
Small feet.
Girl asks questions. Asks a question about, how to deal with like abandonment, and her father abandoned her. She started crying. It was super emotional. Yes. And Cole's in the back goes, I'm going to start crying now.
That might be his thing. You know what I mean? I don't mind my husband crying, I guess, but all the time, like a girl, that might be his flaw.
He goes, I'm going to start crying now. It was so funny.
Cute.
And then at one point, Cole said, he was just like, I knew I was meant to be a dad, which is such a cute thing to say. And then Chelsea goes, I'm proud to raise his children with Cole and send those type of people into the world.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
So he is a wonderful guy.
Yeah.
And they want to have a couple more, but she wants one summer off
That's fine.
Oh, yeah, give it to her. But,
And
my gosh, what is she ever going to do? Poor thing.
I don't know. And I would just, how funny would it be if she had like quadruplets or something? She would melt to the ground.
But she was really cute when the audience member asked, I have 3 kids too. How do you always look so good all the time? And she's like, believe me, on the days that the cameras aren't there, I'm like, I have to call Cole and say I'm going to change my pants that I've had on for 3 days. I look horrible.
And he's like, no. Shaking his head, no. Not even true. But, I mean, you never really see, like, the real dynamic between, like, the kids and, like, the step-parents, per se. But, like, Aubrey comes out holding Cole's hand the entire show. Like, literally the entire time holding his hand. Looking up at him, smiling, like, when, you can just tell that it's such a pure little relationship. And then, we get to the end, and Kale on her podcast introduces Jade into the Teen Mom 2 clique. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, we see a lot of sad stuff, even right then, that little snippet. Her parents are incarcerated. We find out her real dad, her biological dad at 6 months old, committed suicide. I mean, she just went through a lot. And I watched that show, Young and Pregnant, and I think she's perfect one to pick. There are some great girls in there, but she really is such a strong woman. She had so much going against her. Even Chloe's dad is, a drug addict, alcoholic, like has a lot of issues, rehab. She paid for it. She wasn't even with him. Like she wanted him to be a good dad, blah, blah, blah. But so it'll be really good. I think it's really good, and I'm glad that it's like adding Bristol and what's her name, Cheyenne, to Teen Mom OG, which comes back June 10th is the premiere date, so we'll be here on that Tuesday. And that Bristol left.
Oh, I didn't.
Yeah, she couldn't do it.
Oh,
yep,
that's sad. Do they have somebody else?
No, I think it's just gonna be. I mean, they added an extra, remember? Like, there were a lot of people on that show.
Yeah.
So, so there'll be 4 of them now, right? Yeah. So, yeah, I'm excited about that. Okay, well, that was a lot of information.
Yes.
I hope that you liked it all. And thank you guys so much for sticking with us through this whole Teen Mom 2 journey. I know it was slow, and then it was fast, and then it was slow, and then it was...
We ended with
technical, but we ended with a bang. This was a great season. I am really excited about Teen Mom OG coming back in a couple weeks, so stick with us. You can find me on Instagram at Mackenzie Fayne, McKenzie Fayne. Where can we find you, Mama Lee?
On Instagram at Lee Fayne.
Alrighty. See you guys in a couple weeks. Teen Mom OG.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're